Hey everyone, my name is Troy Woods and I am the principal photographer and CEO of Clark Bailey Media. And today I want to discuss something with you that is oftentimes misunderstood when it comes to photo shoots, but it is vitally important because it will make or break a photo shoot. And that is pricing. Pricing is one of the most misunderstood things. It's oftentimes a source of contention, and it's basically because I believe personally, as photographers, often we don't do enough to explain what goes into our pricing. And so, in this video, what I want to do is briefly just break down to you what typically goes into the cost of a photo shoot, so that when you receive pricing from a photographer, you can better understand it and hopefully move forward with your project. So, we're going to be addressing this from the standpoint of a studio shoot. Now, for us, studio means we're either shooting in a studio or we're taking the studio to a client, whether it's in their home or whether it's in their office. All right. So typically, let's look at that first. If we're going on location, we're typically taking the studio with us. So that means they're going to be setup costs and breakdown. We're going to come in, we're going to set up the lights, backdrop if we have that, all the gear that we need. We're going to do the shoot, and then we're going to break it down and, of course, take it away. Now, if we're in a studio location, same thing pretty much. It costs the staff a studio, so we have to have staff there. Also, most photographers don't own the physical building that they're doing the shoot in, so there's some type of leasing going on there or some type of usage fees going on there. So oftentimes, those fees are also associated with your contract, all right? So we have the setup and breakdown, and we also have studio usage. Now, let's look at the next step, which is vitally important, and that is professional makeup. Now, many of our clients do an amazing job with their makeup, but when you come in for a photo shoot, when you're in front of that camera, when you're in front of those lights, it is always best to have a professional makeup application. Makeup artists control the looks of personal brands. I know many people think it's the photographs. Photographs play a big part in it, but the makeup artists are really underrated. They control the personal brand. They control the look of that person. So when you're coming in, especially typically when you're booking with Clark Bailey, most oftentimes our clients will have the makeup included into their package. All right. So we got studio costs, whether we're setting up, breaking down, or just using the studio space. We also have makeup. Now, depending on the shoot, depending on the size of the project that we have, we may also be providing hair and wardrobe. So you have a hairstylist as well as you will have a wardrobe stylist on set available to you. Now, if that's not the case, typically the client is still having their hair done before their photo shoot, and they're getting their wardrobe together. So there may be a separate cost associated with that, but we like to just keep that, front of mind. So when you're planning the cost for your session, you can kind of have all this together. So we got studio costs, we have makeup, also hair and wardrobe. And now we get to the photography / creative fees, which is the fees to just create and make everything happen at the photo shoot. The funny thing about this is the only part that people think that they typically pay for is the photography itself. And I think this is where the misunderstanding comes in about all the other pieces that go into making a photo shoot happen. So anyway, you have the photography creative fees. That's the actual photo shoot itself. Me working with you or photographer working with you to make the photo shoot actually happen. All right. Next, we have editing. Editing is where all of the images are culled, they're sorted. You pick your favorite images that you want to actually use. The studio will edit those images down, polish them, get them ready for prime time, and then deliver them to you. All right, so those are the major components: setup, breakdown, makeup, hair, wardrobe, the photography, creative fees, and the editing. But there is one other item that is rarely ever discussed. Now, it's in our contracts, and our clients thankfully know it's there. They take the time to read it. But that is usage fees. One of the biggest misconceptions about photography is that once you have the photo shoot as a client, you own the images. Unless specified in the contract rather, the studio always retains the rights to the images. As a client, what you're paying for is what they call limited usage, which means you come, you need headshots for your social media profiles. Maybe you're doing a book, maybe a recording project, whatever it is that you're shooting for. Typically, your contract will allow usage for you to take these images and use them towards that. But you can't monetize them, which means you can't go out and make money on your images or anything like that. And anything that you want to do with those images other than what's specified in a contract or what you've discussed with the studio, you will have to get permission from the studio to do so. Now, depending on the size of the commercial projects, like we've had clients in the past, depending on how big their budget or what it is that they're doing, they will oftentimes just buy exclusive rights to the images for a specified amount of time, 6 months to a year, 2 years. We've had a client actually buy out as much as 3 years. And typically when that happens is the studio itself is not even allowed to use the images. We can't put them in our portfolio. We're really not even supposed to show them. The client has exclusive rights to them for that particular period of time. So hopefully from this video, us breaking down what goes into a shoot from setup, breakdown if we're on location, to studio calls, to makeup, hair, wardrobe, to actually the photography, creative fees, to the editing, to the usage rights for the images. Hopefully having an understanding of everything that goes into your pricing will help you be able to move forward on your next shoot. Hope you found this information useful. If you have any questions, as always, make sure that you let us know. Also, let us know if there's anything else that you would like for us to cover in the area of media. We'll make sure to get that content out to you guys. Until the next one, take care.